Guys, welcome to this week's video. So I'm back at it again with another book recommendations video. I figured I'd give you guys all of my fall ultimate like cozy recommendations that I think are just like perfect to read during the fall time. Just your basic like cozy books, but hopefully you get some new recommendations that you didn't before. But yeah, let's just get into it. Oh my gosh, my Alani is almost out, guys. It's like almost empty. Not that I need any more caffeine, but you know. Okay, so I have my stack. Yeah, it's not organized by like genre or anything, but I feel like that'll keep it interesting. So if you've watched like any of my book videos, especially from the beginning of the year, you've heard me talk about this book, The Last Word by Taylor Adams. First of all, his books are like so tiny and little and cute. Like they're just so cute. It's a thriller. Basically, this girl reads a book. She's alone house sitting. Of course she's alone house sitting this big house with her dog, and she reads a book and she leaves a bad review on it, and then these weird things start happening around the house, and she thinks maybe the author is like out to get her because she left this review, and like these creepy things start happening. I don't want to give away too much, but essentially this whole book spans like a few hours. A big chunk of it takes place just like during one night, so it goes by really fast. All of his books are so good. Oh, another one I would recommend is No Exit. That one is about a girl who gets stranded at a rest stop, and then she has to go back outside to her car, and she sees a kid like locked in the back of one of the cars, and then she has to go back inside and figure out who in this rest stop is the killer, and they're all like snowed in, so like none of them can really leave or like get help. So that one is really good too, and it's like during Christmas time, so like that would be another like good cozy one. Then we got another thriller, The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This one has a little bit of a different thriller vibe. I think it's another, not a house sitting situation, but she's alone in her cabin, and then across the lake she sees the house across the lake. She has binoculars and she's kind of like looking into what's going on, and she sees some weird like scary stuff happening, and a person goes missing, and she like looks into it. It really caught me by surprise. Like I was not expecting the ending of this one, I will say. So that one definitely got me. That one's a good one, especially for like Halloween, like closer to Halloween time. Okay, next we have a little bit of a lighter book. And that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I never know how to say her last name. This is the only book I've read by her, but I do want to read her other books because they sound really good, especially The Dead Romantics. I've heard that's a perfect one to read in the fall. I haven't personally read it, but that's another recommendation that I've gotten from other people. Ashley Poston writes like magical realism, so it's like set in the real world, and it's like almost everything is like, you know, same as the real world except for this like magical element throughout the book. But basically this girl Clementine moves into her aunt's apartment, and one day she finds this guy standing there, and it turns out he's from 7 years in the past. Sometimes like they'll like end up in the apartment at the same time, sometimes she'll like leave and come back and it's like actually present day, and she kind of like tries to find him in present day and like all this stuff, and definitely more different than any romance book that I've ever read. It's just a very interesting concept, and I really enjoyed my time reading it. Then I had to at least recommend one Ali Hazelwood book, because if you're looking for like a good fast-paced, like you just want like a good cheesy, Ali Hazelwood books are a perfect pickup, and this is definitely, I think this is probably my #1 book by her. I read this so fast. Like all of her books are fast-paced, they keep you interested. It's about a theoretical physicist and I always forget what he is. He's a different kind of physicist, experimental physicist. And like I guess that's a big thing where it's like they don't get along, or like they don't whatever see eye to eye. You know, it's sort of like a enemies to lovers type thing, and I love her settings of like women in STEM and like the science world, because I personally am not that smart. Like I'm not, you know, into the sciences, but reading it through this lens is like very interesting to me, and like even if you aren't interested in science, it's not like you're not gonna understand it or be bored or anything. You know, everything that needs to be explained is explained. Yeah, I read this a little bit ago, so I'm like kind of fuzzy on the exact details. Whoa, got really dark outside. But this is just, it's a good quick read, and I want to say it takes place in the fall time-ish. I really don't remember. You know, some books, like even if they don't take place in the fall, like it's still like a cozy read to me, but it's just like a good romance book to sit down and just binge. And if you're looking for a really super cozy small town cowboy series to get into, I gotta suggest Chestnut Springs. Like I feel like I suggest this in every single recommendations video, and I haven't even finished the entire series, but I'm over halfway through it, and now I can confidently say like every book is so just like cozy and atmospheric of like the small town. I don't know, it's just too good. And like the not found family, because like their actual family, but then like, you know, the spouse, not the spouses, but like the girlfriends come in, and like they kind of create this found family amongst them. But yeah, this is the second book in the series because I don't have the first one on paperback. This whole series, so good. I'm so excited to continue it and keep reading it this fall season. And of course, I can't make a recommendations video without recommending a or all of Emily Henry's books, but I'm specifically recommending one in this one because all of her books do take place pretty much in the summer or like late summer. The one I'm suggesting for this summer, because just simply, or summer, this fall, simply because it gave me like the cozy, again, like small town vibes. I guess if a book is like small town, like it makes it cozy for me, I don't know. But I'm recommending Book Lovers because I feel like this book is so underrated, and it's not like people like talk about like hating it or whatever, but I just feel like people don't talk about it enough. Like it's one of my favorite ones by her. Also, I'm very excited. She just announced her new book for next year. I'm so excited for that one. It's about I believe she's a publisher, and he also works like in publishing. See, that's where I'm fuzzy on like details like that. But they both work in books essentially. So it's kind of an enemies to lovers type thing. And she ends up going to this small town with her sister for like a little end of summer trip, which, you know, it's like kind of, you know, end of summer, like fall type thing, and ends up running into him, even though they're both like from New York City and like work in New York City. I don't know, something about like the library, small town, bookstore setting is like so cozy to read, and they just, you know, go on like little adventures together and whatever. Next two books are from the same series. I'm not recommending necessarily the whole series for fall, but obviously like go for it, like if you want to. It's just that these two specifically take place kind of, you know, in the fall, going through like start of school years, getting into like, you know, winter Christmassy time, and that is Icebreaker and Daydream by Hannah Grace. These are the special editions I just got of them, and I am obsessed, so I just kind of had to flex a little bit. Like, I'm obsessed. I also do have Wildfire in the special edition, but they're so pretty. Like, if you've read the books, you know. But yeah, like I said, specifically these two, this is a hockey romance. I love hockey romance. Technically, I mean, they all are, because like the guys in the series are on the hockey team. This one I feel like really surrounds hockey, but she's also an ice skater, so like it's surrounding like hockey, ice skating type thing, and it's all about how the hockey team and the ice skating team have to share a rink because the hockey team's rink got trashed or something and they have to like redo it. So that's when the two main characters in this book meet, and it's a little bit of a rivalry at the beginning, but you just get the cozy found family-ness of them going through like this new school year. There's like a Halloween party in it and everything. There's also a Halloween party in this. Like, this takes place a year after this one, and the second book in the series takes place in the summer between these two. This one is also so cozy. I just love Hannah Grace's writing. Henry and Hallie are just so like perfect for each other. It's such like a soft, quiet love between them, and it's like very gentle and sweet. So if you're looking for something like that, definitely choose this. Very cozy, like they're very much like homebodies, so if you like reading about stuff like that, and like she loves baking and reading and running a a book club, it's all that. Like, I feel like it's just perfect. Okay, moving on from romance pretty much for the rest of this video. I have the Inheritance Games series. I also still have one more book to read in the series, but I'm recommending it anyways, especially this first one. I read this last September, and it was just like the perfect September book in my opinion. Like, cozy, there's riddles. If you've ever seen the movie Knives Out, it's essentially similar to that. This girl gets a inheritance from this guy that she doesn't know who this man is, and obviously his family is like, why does this random girl get billions and billions of dollars while we get nothing, or like essentially nothing? And so like there's that whole like family like rivalry type situation going on while she's trying to figure out these riddles and like figure out why she was chosen to get this inheritance. So it's almost like a thriller. It's a YA, and it's just like all these riddles and clues, and you just like don't know what's coming next. Yeah, it's really good, and the second one is really good as well, so I'm very excited to finish out the series. And then I'm back with another thriller, like more thriller-y recommendation, and that is the Housemaid series. I will say I think I like the first one the best out of all of them. There's 3 of them right now. I'm not sure if there's gonna be another one or not. But this third one just came out this summer, and I did read it. It is in a reading vlog that is coming out soon, I promise. But they're just such, like, I read this, I'm pretty sure in like a day. Her writing, you can just devour it. Like, it goes so fast. It's about a housemaid, obviously, and she's working for this new family, and she's essentially homeless. So she's like, I need to be this live-in housemaid so I can like have a home to live in. And there's just like weird things going on with the wife. She's messing with Millie's head, and just like all these creepy things keep happening. And then one day she sees that her bedroom door actually locks from the outside and not the inside. And I will leave it with that. And it is very creepy, but it's so good. Again, very bingeable series. Like, you could read all 3 in like a weekend. In the next series, the ACOTAR series, I just have to do it. If you want a bingeable fantasy, cozy fantasy series that like the stakes, I don't want to say they're not high, because I mean, they kind of are, but it's not a complicated world to get into like at all. I definitely want to get into the Throne of Glass series sometime soon. I'm not sure if it probably won't be this fall, but maybe next fall. I think I would definitely want to read that, but I've heard that that is also a good fall read if you're looking for another new fantasy series. That's also like 10 books long though, so it would take forever to get through, for me at least. But ACOTAR is 5 books, well, it's 4 plus a novella. They say that this first one is essentially like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I will definitely say it definitely is, and has those like the structure of Beauty and the Beast. If you just needed a sign to start ACOTAR series, here it is. Okay, this next book I know I for sure have never recommended, but I was looking at my bookshelf and I was like, this would actually be a good fall read, I feel like, and that is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. It almost reminded me of like a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, which those are really good for like cozy fall time as well. I feel like I recommend her all the time, so I didn't want to put it in this video. So that's what it almost like reminded me of. It's just very much a literary fiction about this a woman in STEM as well, but she lives in like, I believe it's the 50s or 60s? 60s, okay. Following her and her journey of like trying to assert herself in the world of science as a woman in the 60s, and like the things that women went through and go through. You just essentially get this like slice of her life, and you really just like do a character deep dive into her and her life, decisions she makes and the people she meets. That's just, you know, if you need like a good literary fiction book for the fall, that was a pretty good read. And then my final recommendation, which I also feel like I haven't really recommended, but I know Sarah Caroli has started reading the series and she loves it, and just like really validated within me like why I love the series and this TV show. That is Heartstopper. It is a graphic novel, so it is a very quick read, but it's just this heartwarming story about these 2 boys who meet at the beginning of the school year, and they just like form this connection. One of them realizes that maybe it's like something more, and then the other one eventually realizes, oh, maybe this is something more. And it's just, it's such like a heartwarming, like not lighthearted, because it does get into some like heavy topics further into the series. There's five of these out right now, and there's only 1 more left that's coming out, I believe, next year sometime. And the new series, or the new season, comes out in October, so I'm so excited. I need to like rewatch the whole show in preparation, or even like low-key like reread the series, because it doesn't take that long to read it. But it's there's such a good story of like substance in these books, and just like life lessons, and you're just like following these characters in their friend group and like finding this found family. And if you can't tell, I love books with found family. The TV show does it so much justice. Like, I really can't pick a favorite between the series and the TV show. It's so good. Like I said, if you just want like a quick thing to read, you don't want to get into like a full book. I mean, it is a full book, but like, you know, full like words book. Graphic novels are the way to go. Like, they have such good stories in them. Yeah, the Heartstopper series, so good. Anything by Alice Oseman is so good too, but just like that series is like very cozy. And like I said, this first one starts like on the first day of school, and so it's like, you know, school time. I feel like I equate like obviously school starting with fall time, so like any books that do that, you know, it's like a fall book to me. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and maybe got some new like recommendations to read during the fall time if you just want to cozy up with a good book. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week for another one. Bye!